Hello and welcome to episode 33 of Let's Talk Tactics. I'm your host, Zach Bro.
Hey, I'm Denelboon.
And I'm Luck.
This week we will be wrapping up, well, not wrapping up because, well, it's longer than that, but talking about the rest of class match 8. I can't remember any numbers today. Class match
Yeah,
8. Yeah,
that's my shit.
that one. The one on the awesome map. Talk about the rest of our experiences there. Also, just now I'll get it out of the way. Congratulations to Sieg for taking first place. He
Yeah,
was completely undefeated,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Completely
I
40
believe
didn't
so.
lose any.
Yeah, and he shared his team in the chat. I'll just kind of shout that out real quick. He used 9S, Kingmont, and Phoebe, so pretty sweet combination of units there. Obviously, the Phoebe I've always been surprised of, even after talking. I know Sasaki found a lot of success with her, but and then I think you switched to her as well, and you were really enjoying her. So I'll be curious to hear
Yeah.
about your experiences there. But yeah, so congrats to him. We have at least a new name that gets to wear that title now. It's not like Rafflos winning for a third time or something. It's just gonna eat up the titles for everyone else, right? But yeah, and then also lots of releases this week in terms of new EXs and awakenings and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know if we'll get into the tower necessarily. Maybe we'll do that next week, especially because I haven't touched the tower yet. I know Locke, you put out a couple videos of your 2B doing stupid things and soloing floors, so
Yeah.
we can talk about that maybe next week. But yeah, so where did everybody end up? I think I ended up at 90, so it's still top 100, but not amazing. What about you guys?
I ended up at rank 6. It was the first time breaking top 10. So
Nice,
that's nice.
nice.
Well played, sir. I ended up at 96 actually.
96. Okay.
I got shut down my last match where I would have ended up at like, I don't know, 70 or something. But yeah, I'll get more into that later.
Oh, let's get into it now. Let's start with you. So, talk-
So yeah, like I said, I switched to Phoebe. My third day, I started with Kingmont, Ziza. I knew those were the ones that I really wanted to play this time around, especially with like the AP crystals making like I didn't have to use bells. I just used their like Shukuchi and like their natural move and then like Katone's TMR or something. But then I switched from Layart to Phoebe because she just I don't know Layart. She was really helping me battle evasion teams, and that was really helping me out. And I think that was that may have been what affected my I guess overall performance as drastically as it did. Like I was kind of tracking for a top 20 if not higher. But I just ran into so many damn evasion teams, you guys. Like especially, I switched. Like after fighting somebody on the server. I don't know. I'm blanking right now on who it was, but I switched from Mont on Ninja Sub for his like Decider of Fate accuracy, and Poison Mist and stuff like that. I switched to Nightblade because I was like, he took me like he completely like just like made my King Mont's irrelevant because of his King Mont's like AP drain and just completely shut him down. Like all I could do was like auto attack and like try to buff and stuff. So I was like, man, I really like that. That's a better strategy. I really like Nightblade sub job better than Ninja. And then immediately after that, like the next day or two was just all evasion teams, and I'm like, oh, what is happening? So like, as much as like I find Phoebe like more intuitive, like I almost wish that I had kept Layart for the accuracy because sometimes she was just like soloing 2B. So I think it's still kind of a toss up for me, like between Layart and Phoebe. I mean, I have them both at 120. I have them like all maxed out and stuff. But I guess I need to work. I need more Layart work, you guys.
Fair. And then Locke, what about you?
So I only had 3 losses, and I actually like. I mean, I always use. Well, actually, I don't always use, but lately for most of the matches, I've been using double quicken when it's available. But I found this rule set without double quicken even easier in a way, because it's less surprises, right? Like everything is already laid out, and I just had to plan such that none of my units get 3 attacks in, because usually they survive if it's just 2, unless it's like very very strong units, or if it's like Yuna or something. So then if it's just Yuna, I have to like make sure I'm always 6 spaces plus whatever moment is, and so on and so on. So it's easier to calculate, and if I can calculate, it's easier. It's easier again, such that there isn't surprises. the surprises that are usually there are things Niblu can deal with, which is usually haste. So if somebody uses haste, if someone uses Kane's TMR to get extra movement to take another turn in, she would just go in and dispel spread, and they're taken care of. So therefore, I found it a lot easier. All my losses were like something drastic that I did, which was like a mistake. Like I was like trying to not let my Silma get AoE down because I knew 9S was going to take damage, and I'm like, oh, he's going to take damage by someone who can deal AoE damage, so I'm going to put her away from AoE spaces, and I accidentally moved her to a spot where all three of the enemy units can attack and kill her. So then, so that was a mistake. Another mistake. So I started being a lot more aggressive with my 9S because there were a few matches that I ended up winning, but I was like, like I'm giving the opponent full control of the center, which seemed a little bit difficult. Not just the AP, because I'm like, if I kill them, I don't really care about the AP, but just being able to heal. So because I was using Niblu as one of my main damage dealers, she's obviously not going to one shot any 120. Like I already knew that, so I needed like a couple turns to kill with her. But if they have so much crystals in the center, they can just keep grabbing them and healing them and approaching me, and it was very difficult. So I had to figure out some way of also applying some pressure there, or just having 9S more into the fight. So I figured out this like much better opening, where I'm a lot more aggressive. But against the wrong team, I can't use that strategy. But I realized that too late. So basically, it was against another King Mont. I didn't. I made like mistakes and played a little bit too aggressively against a King Mont, and he ended up using a Berserk on my units, and that was a loss. And I think the very first loss was somebody else playing the exact same team as me. So that was, you know, um, I made another mistake somewhere there as well. But overall, I found it a lot more easier. And I also found like I keep going back to this same comment over and over with CMs. Like everyone has a style, right? And in the beginning, I was going to play with Liart. That was my plan. And Liart is all about status effects. She does a lot of damage too, but it was about status effects mostly. And I found that really frustrating because I did a lot of practice matches with people. And I think I played against Zenith. And we played 2 matches. And almost like both times, I did the exact same opening where I tried to stop someone that he was playing. 50% chance. I missed on both of those. Then the next 2 status effects procs of his, he lands. And it was the exact same thing like twice in a row. And I'm like, okay, what is this chance? Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, I missed the last one. I was hoping to hit this one. And then I'm like, this is just too frustrating. So I'm just gonna maybe let me not do this. Let me just like go for the kill and not like try to stop them. So it was just something I found. But I always find like when I'm up against Agrias, 50% chance she always hits. So I was hoping to hit more than I did, and you know, anyway, that's what I thought.
It's gotta be me, man. Just every stop on Yuna, just stop. I miss everything else, but stop on Yuna was like every time. It was so perfect. Yeah, so I mean, speaking of that, I did use Layart for the whole, almost the whole thing. When I switched, no, I switched at the end. So first team was, I think we talked about last week, the 9S, King Mont, and Layart. Did that for a while. But then I switched to on the, I think it was either Monday or Tuesday, I got Luel ready and Silma ready. So I swapped them both in, and I went with Nivlu, Silma, and Luel. And lots of fun. I mean, I didn't win every game. There were a couple times where I like made mistakes, not realizing ranges or something, or I underestimated damages. Like there was one very clear loss I had against a Gilgamesh, Kingmont, and Zazan team, where I knew the charm was coming. Like I knew he could just run across the map. There's nothing I can really do about it if I'm in the middle, because he can just literally vault right up over that wall with he's got like 3 or 4 jump. It's really absurd. But I was like, his Mont had like 8 spirit, like he got magic resist buff, but he had like 15. And I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna destroy him. Like he has Mastery TMR, but I can like I think I can get through it. But my Nivlu, I dispelled the Kane TMR on Greg instead of barrier breaking Mont and backing up. And had I done that, I think I won the game, but I didn't. And then my damage from Luella on King Mont was just like 1,000. I was like, oh shit. So then my King Mont got charmed and I lost. But stuff like that was like silly. I had a couple DCs. I ended up 32-8 overall is what it was. So, and 2 of those were DCs, and most of them were just dumbass moves for me. But
Yeah.
here's my PSA. So, Daniel, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. You didn't see it. If you're playing Luell on manual, you guys remember the abilities of, I think it's Blasting Zone on Thancred, the Mega Charge on Rangers, where if you cast them, you're not allowed to move after?
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, I
The
didn't
layer has that too.
know that's how Devitalizing Glint works on Luell, her big line. So one of my turns, I could have just backed up and shot it, but instead I shot it, and I'm like, oh, I can just back up after, and I got locked into staying in that spot. So then I got jamming thrusted from a Garvel and lost the game.
Oh no.
So it was completely avoidable. I had the move down on Garvel, so like he couldn't chase me or anything, but he could get in range if I didn't move. So like had I just backed up, I was gonna deal like 8,000 damage to King Mon. He was just gonna get lasered, and then I'd finish off the Garvel and whoever his other guy was. But yeah, it was such a dumb way to lose, and I didn't even think about, I didn't even consider that that's how that was gonna work. So
Have you thought
that
about
was really
switching to like
frustrating.
to the passive because of that?
Oh, to make it instant. It's hard because like, yeah, I think that'd be fun, but then I have to give up either 12 defense or 40 spirit pen in addition to 20 flat accuracy, because both passives
Right.
have 20 accuracy, which I felt was pretty important. Although I guess on the flip side of that, if there's ever an evasion team, it was like 2B was the problem, and 2B's wind, and I already am really unfavored
Yeah.
as
It's like how
Luell,
much
and I do have unevadable pain on Silma, which is how I ended up having to beat the 2Bs I did come across. After I remembered I had the ability. Um, so yeah, I guess I could have probably done that, but man, I enjoyed having a like 58 defense
yeah,
Mashra
right.
TMR to the well with like, yeah, it was really stupid how tanky she got, and then it was cool because the well was like my physical tank, and then Silma was my like magic tank. So I actually went super specialized on both of them. Like I normally in the past I've put like smart coat on Killface so that she can kind of do both, but I did the opposite. I put smart coat on my Silma, and I put whatever defense. I forget if I put the. I think I had smile
Bracer.
practice on Luell, so I think I had the Elf Cloak. I don't have a defense bracer. So Elf Cloak on Luell, tons of defense, tons of magic. I just sent them in depending on what the team was, and then kind of supported with the other one. And then I had Nivlu doing Nivlu things with bells from the back line, just raining down whatever crowd control effects I needed. So
Quick
pretty
question.
sweet team.
Do you so when I was spectating like second window all this week, or most of the week, most of the Silmas I saw had like a base magic resist of like 60% going into a match. And I'm sure it was because of gear and like, Esper and Vision Card and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if you remember what your magic res was sitting at with your Selma.
So I could calculate real fast. What is her base magic resist?
I don't even know. I assumed that it was easy to
It
get
was not
because
that
of
high. No.
I kept seeing 60%. I was like,
10.
oh, this seems like it's
So yeah, she's 10. I assume then they had to have had her passive on. The magic resist 15, so I also had that. So that's 25. I guess after that they could do what, Fenrir to go 25 to 40 to 60.
or a Guyan.
A guy in Yep would also do it on there. But he doesn't have magic attack. Neither does the Fenrir though. Yeah, they would have had to have done that. No, I went. I think I had Shiva on my Soma because I wanted the higher. I was trying to get really high agility so that they would all keep up. I actually put Bahamut on Luell just because I needed the agility, honestly. But also the Man Eater for her strike attack was nice because I couldn't rely on just the magic attack for that. I was doing AoE with that pretty nicely and getting heals and stuff. So, yeah, I don't think it was that high. It might have only been that 25.
Okay.
But between her magic barrier slash Mastery TMR or
Yeah, it was enough.
and like she had like 30, 40, 50 range of spirit, like somewhere, it was really, really high. So I wasn't too worried about it.
Seems like
But
a
I think spirit pen is more common than magic resist pen, so that could be an
yeah.
argument for magic resist. But then on the other flip side, if I was against Luell, which I mean already Earth on Lightning, it's a bad time, but the strike would be relevant, right? Or could be relevant. Slash magic attacks could be relevant. But yeah, the only rain I came across though just got kited to hell. So
Do you guys
yeah.
find a lot of people are still setting up in the corners?
I actually so all right. Oh, here other disclaimer. My last day was fucking charity. I lost my first match to that devitalizing glint thing, and then two, I got a platinum 3-player match on auto with their units split up. Then I
Okay.
got a silver master player with his units split up on auto, and then I got a bronze master player on auto with his units split up. So last day was like the worst like stream. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna kill these people, I guess. Like it was so stupid. But no, a lot of people in the middle. After we had talked about it on the cast, or it
Interesting.
was people who didn't give a shit and they had all their units split like in the regular spawn. So,
Mhm.
once in a while, I found one in the corner. Like there was one where someone like turbo nivlued. Like they had max agility. I think they might have had like secret orders instead of Cactor, but they had haste. Obviously Nivlu. They also had Phoebe and put the Phoebe like agility buff on her.
Mhm.
Like anything they could do to give their Nivlu speed, they did it. And then there was like
Okay.
two supporting units behind her, and she was just cruising. And eventually she misstepped, and I killed her with Luell. But
Mhm.
actually I think it was Silma jamming thruster. She got really she overcommitted to killing my Nivlu,
Mhm.
but left herself in a weird angle that she didn't see. So for a while though, I couldn't catch her. It was really obnoxious. but but yes, to answer your question, I saw a lot of people switch off of the corner. Maybe not switch off, but like we're not in the corners.
I think, in my experience, I think not most of mine, um, s- a notable amount of my like losses, which is only like what 7 or 8 or whatever, were from people that disengaged like into the corner, like you were talking about. Because if people didn't change their strategy to compensate for like what I was trying to do, if they just like came at me, or if they were just kind of like doing whatever, like if they allowed me to get to, like be aggressive and get to them, then they almost like invariably ended up losing, so it's interesting that you mentioned that, because it didn't really catch my eye until just now, that like really the people that were like kind of making me like try to crack that egg of like them retreating into the corner were the ones that were the most effective in shutting down my offense.
But you're using Ziza, right? So you're
Yeah,
relying on charm to some extent. I feel like if you have a unit like Ziza or Zazan or somebody who's like built, I mean, she does damage now. I'm not gonna like disrespect
yeah,
Ziza's output, but a lot of times people have to play around that charm threat because like
yeah.
if they have high faith, like you're probably landing that charm, and they just like you have to be the aggressor. Otherwise, like there's no reason they can't reasonably approach you.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
almost every single time it was a Una. And so like
well, that would work. Yeah.
I had to be careful. I couldn't just run Ziza forward. I had to like run King Mont forward first, and then like try to break apart that defense. Um I would say probably half the time it worked. But I know at least on the last day, like my last match, I lost because it was like a full light team, like Yuna, Sakura, El Sorel. No, it was actually Elshra instead of Sakura.
Mhm.
Yuna, Elshra, and El Sorel. And I lost my King Mons. I guess, like I ran him forward like second turn, grabbed the center crystal, and got drain rushed into a Yuna LB and just got I took an LB for like 7K on King Mine. I was like, well, that's the match. Because like, what's Ziza gonna do? Actually, I lasted a lot longer. I actually finally they like misstepped. It was somebody named Wiz. So you can't ever know. That's like one of the default names, right? But I managed to charm their Elsorel, and if the AI were smarter, I think I could have taken it. But it was like tooth and nail fighting, like Ziza just like raw. So it was a thrilling match, but I ended up losing because obviously Ziza dark unit dies to magic damage, but yeah, just had to be careful with those corner units, especially if it was
For me, a lot of matches, I until the last day, a lot of the people that I was facing against started in the center. Suddenly, for some reason, in the last day, all 5 matches started in the corner, and against the corner guys, it was actually really easy. And I actually met one guy who was running a similar team. Actually, I think he was running the exact same team as me, but he decided to corner camp, and that's fine. But the thing was, on top of wanting to corner camp, he decided to use Purify, which gives you a 3-turn shield. And I was like, I'm like, okay, I don't mind approaching because my team is actually totally fine for that. But as soon as he used that, I was like, oh, okay, I will just back off for 3 turns. And then as soon as he did that, he's like, ah, crap. And then he started trying to like approach me, and then it's hard because you're already committed to being the corner. And then I was able to easily kill him. Did you guys run into like corner campers at all?
Well, same thing.
That
Whenever I
was the
saw
only
someone
one.
use Purify, I was like, all right, well, I'll see you in a little bit. I'm just kidding. Like, that's why it's like
That's
Monster
a
Team are
natural
so
response.
different. Like,
Mhm.
I need to get better about that with like Hastega though. Like when I see a like Titus or something. But I tried doing that against somebody, and they were just so fast that I couldn't. Like they were on me. Like I couldn't stop and wait or run or whatever. At least not without absolutely cornering myself and then losing, like you're saying. Anyway, and he could just recast it. So in those situations, I had to like get a good dispel spread off or do something like that in the last couple of days. Or on the previous ones, I had to do like some kind of slow, like reduce their movement, something with. Or I guess I couldn't do that with the art, could I? I guess hit a status effect would have been the plan there, but. Oh, and actually, to your point, Daniel, the AP drain was clutch in multiple matches. Also, the AP drain not breaking charm was clutch in one match in particular, because I had a very low health, maybe, well, half health, King Mont and like a almost dead Layart, but I landed a charm against Atias, and he was full health. I could barely do damage to him, but I AP drained him down to nothing over 3 turns of him being charmed. And then I was able to win because all he could do was auto attack, and I was able to do like some draining and whatever other things. And I think I don't know if I stalled that match out or what I did, but
I remember watching that on stream.
actually layered auto attack to it. That's what it was. I was just like every once in a while I'd throw a status, not hit it, and then auto. But because lightning does things, so yeah, that AP drain was incredible, and the fact that I had 2 of them in 9S and King Mon, it was just like there were some times where I just could pincer somebody, take all their AP, and then their threat was just reduced for a while.
Did
I
not
think,
know AP drain didn't break charms. That's good to know.
yeah, I
Yes,
think
there's no
so.
damage.
I recently started making progress on like doing what I've been wanting to do for months, and like having just like a cheat sheet, like notebook type, like pinned message of like this is the way things work. Here's like a reference for like formulas or whatever. I just started adding that in like the team building channel on the PvP Discord, and I think it occurs to me that I should add this little nuance, like what skills won't break a status effect, you know? So like
I mean, it's
stuff like
just anything that deals damage would break it. But
so like AP break, mana strike, those kind of things that don't actually
poison
do
doesn't break
damage.
it. Yeah, because poison is loss of health, not dealing damage, so it doesn't break charm or things like that, which is pretty cool. And obviously, you being a Ziza main, you know about countdown plus charm, of course, because countdown doesn't deal damage. So lots of interesting interactions, and then other stupid ones like not being able to move after casting an ability. God damn it!
Which I know you also found out this week. I was watching. You did a charm arrow on Layart, and that's another one that even like before it was just like whatever charge or whatever. Like that doesn't let you move anymore. So
Sure
maybe
doesn't.
maybe that should be added to the note as well.
Yeah, it's like at least you can lock onto units now too. Like in the beginning of the game, couldn't you not do mega charge and stuff on a unit? You had to like choose a space as well. Like
That
I
sounds
vaguely remember
familiar.
that, but they
Yeah.
changed it for those abilities. But I guess they didn't change it. Like I get it, like blasting zone or devitalizing glint. Like they're a line that's based on your position and what. Like, but if I move, just adjust where like the direction I've aimed. I don't know. One thing, funny note though, Lazarus was telling me that he did a bunch of testing with blasting zone after like the AI changes, and or before the AI changes. There was his Thancred on auto against a unit that did like a teleport basically, and then didn't move, just did the teleport, and then like turn was over. The AI blasting zoned where the unit used to be before the teleport after they teleported. So because he thought that was the same position because they haven't actually moved, but they weren't there anymore. But they're like, I don't care, blasting in that same spot. So, AI things.
It would be cool if the space moves when they move. Like somebody was trying to do some kind of like AOE space damage. Like I think it it was the glint spell that you were talking about. But I think they were doing it with the transposition. So they start casting like the area in front of you, and then transposition, and hopefully it casts where your new position is. But it didn't work like that,
It
unfortunately.
didn't. It stayed back.
It's
Oh,
it
it's so
it just like
stupid.
fizzled or something. Yeah. So that sucked. I don't know. They said that it canceled the cast. Or either way, he said it didn't.
Well,
It did not work.
I could test it with like Black Rose Helena VC, right? Like pull her to the side and see if it would like extend the range or like what it would do. Because like transpose,
Hey, that's
maybe you're
good.
like so far away, it's weird. But like I'd be curious to see with like Black Rose Helena, or if you've vital shot with a gunner, knock her back, or what's the spear one, bursting slash. Which also, why is it called slash? But anyway, the lancer ability knocks people back. Yeah, it'd be an interesting sort of Mythbusters test thing to try. Have you seen anything like that, Daniel? 'Cause I know you've used lancers a bunch. I don't know.
I don't know. It's still kind of one of those things, you know. I don't know, not necessarily spaghetti code, but yeah, just weird, you know.
Strange interactions, yeah. So all right, let's go into one thing real quick. Are there any units you guys saw that either you didn't expect to see them at all and they were effective, or units that you think overperformed, or units that did horribly that you thought would have done really well in this class match?
Ooh, good question.
I know we didn't prep this, so we'll we'll give you a second to think. But for me, I would say Layart. Like I knew she was gonna be good, but like she was incredible. For a lot of people, Phoebe would be one that I thought wouldn't have been good, and she was good. And then you don't have to do one of each. I'm just kind of throwing out some of my things. But then I guess
King Mont without the ninja passive sucks.
Shikuchi. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, whenever I saw like a move, like a 3-1 character, like even Luell, it hurt really bad to use sometimes. I had to just like buff. Like I put haste on her, use her own agility buff, and like even then I could like sort of move across the map, but if they didn't come to me, it was a slog.
Um,
I guess Soma would be one that I didn't really think about much, but oh my gosh, just absolutely
Very good. Yeah.
absurd unit.
so I know we had Sasaki on last week. I never got to see him use Raldor, but I would not have expected to see Raldor used effectively. Just he just doesn't seem to pop up on a lot of people's radar, even though I really enjoy him. You know, like being a monk enthusiast. I saw a couple like OG Victorias, and they did not perform as high. Like they didn't perform up to my like expectations of how she would have. Um, as in like previous class matches, you know, it's just weird. Maybe it's because we didn't see as many gunners. And I think that kind of leads me into like where'd all the gunner teams go? Like I know Locke, you said you were using like Nivlu at least. And you know, we saw like Layard every now and then, but yeah, I was expecting to see a lot more like ranged teams than I did. It was
Like
actually
Frederika's.
yeah, and that was like really one of the main reasons why I chose Ninja sub on King Mont over Nightblade was to be able to get around with Poison Mist, chase down these teams that were trying to kite. You know, I don't remember. I may have had like one match where like that was even a possibility, and I didn't even need to do it. It was just like I used Katone CMR and King Mont as usual, gave him 5 move and enough jump to just you know run people down before I got kited too much. So yeah, I guess between like the more range units, the Victoria and the Raldor, um, let's see. I saw a couple scary Sakuras, and maybe that was just because of me using Ziza, you know. Sakura's doing surprising damage, especially with her LB, you know. Like we used to see her LB just do crazy damage, but recently, like I haven't really seen her really popping off like that. But if you put her on a full magic team, like she can definitely still be scary, which I think is surprising. I saw a couple of Robs. I don't know if you guys are, you know, if you think King Rob was kind of scary, but like my
Never
King
saw one.
Mont's, my accuracy on King Mont was enough to deal with him, which was kind of surprising. Let's see. No Canes, no Glaciellas. You know,
Saw one Glaciella.
not really much representation from the piercing side of things, which is you know interesting because of the height variation on this map. You know, maybe you would expect to see that more.
Yeah, I agree. I think I saw Victor and I got really scared. But I think she blew her charm and I just got to auto attack it off, or like it didn't do a whole lot. because she kind of like did it early because, well, I didn't see the angle either. I thought I calced all the angles, but I didn't. Missed it. Charmed my 9S, but then yeah, I think Lair just like auto attacked him. Or no, I think King Mont auto attacked him in the back, and I was like, please don't reflex, please don't reflex, please don't reflex. I'm like, I'm gonna lose my layout if this happens. But so it worked out. But yeah, after that, yeah, she kind of just like she had to stay so far away because I had King Mont. Like if anybody had King Mont against a Victor, like she was just a liability at that point. I think she might have gotten a good snipe dagger off on Layart too, which made life annoying, but like nothing that really ended it. And she was kind of an afterthought, to be honest. Glacial I saw once, Frederika I saw once, but Frederika, I'm sorry for that player, but they brought Triple Lightning into a Luel fight, and that was not okay for them.
Not pretty.
So, I styled a little bit because I was like, I want to see what my abilities look like and how much damage they do. So I was like, I just kind of ran my units around, and I like did like buffs and stuff to give Luel more turns to do things. But yeah, it was that was an unfortunate one. But yeah, not a lot of Frederika on my end either.
And as much as I would love to complain more about how much evasion I kept seeing when I was like teching off of evasion, I would say the scariest team that I saw was actually it was my first loss, but I know Prodigy, you were just talking about having lost it on your last day. Gilgamesh, Kingmont, and Zazan is my pick for the scariest team that I've seen this class match. I know that may be unconventional or maybe even unexpected, but like I just got obliterated, guys. Like the man eater from Zazan. I just did not respect the Gilgamesh damage, and I lined up Ziza and Phoebe without really. I was expecting like to not really take too much damage from past the Mashri's Timar and Yuna's Timar, but I still ate like 80% of my HP just from one Kotetsu. I was like, oh, wow. I just lost
from one Kotetsu. I thought
yeah,
it was like the man eater from Zazan, but.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he got buffed. Like Gilgamesh was basically like fully buffed at that point. I think he may have. I don't know. He may have gotten a slash buff, like maybe Keenblade just for the slash up. It was like my first promotion match into Diamond Master, like on the first day, and it was my third match, and it sucks losing your third match because it's like, oh, there goes my streak, But I mean, it sucks losing any of your matches on your first day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But. Yeah,
so I didn't realize like, Zazan had a human killer buff. Like I kept thinking it was his job level 25, which has a human killer component. But wow, yeah, he has a plus 20 man eater buff. That's pretty cool.
That's like the AoE aspect of that makes him just as scary as his charm, in my opinion. Like
it's an AoE discipline.
Scary team.
Plus the human killer, obviously. March of the Juggernaut. That's what that team is right there.
Yeah,
Gilgamesh, Kingmont, and Zazan just great bosses coming to town.
Wait for him to be able to quicken again,
Yeah, his EX skill is pretty powerful with that human. Like everything he has some kind of like killer on it now. I guess Jamming Edge doesn't, and Stone Throw doesn't.
Like we don't even need to see that you are Zazan now. It's like the OG Zazan X is just enough.
Yeah, he's very powerful.
You shut your mouth. I'm excited for the other Zazan.
For me, I saw a few Garvels, and I thought they would do better, but it was very easy to take them out. He starts with 3-move jump 1 anyway, and then like an opponent, he just couldn't do anything and ended up using Pulse to get closer. But then at that point, I could just like kill him before he gets the chance to do anything. So I didn't see any Garvels using the nimble movement to be on the Kotodoma sub. Maybe that might have been better. Like usually they were still on the Red Mage sub because they don't want to lose access to Jamming Thrust. Maybe they should have. I don't know. But that was not. It was easy for me to take apart the Garvels that I saw. I've seen I think 3 double gunner matches against a Frederika and Nivlu and then someone else, and it was very easy. Like usually they just quit by turn 2. I don't think I actually ever finished the match because
yo, I need to like Photoshop like over your like get some kind of face capturing software and just have shades over your glasses and just the letters easy on the wall behind you.
Because like after I figured out my offense with 9S, I I didn't even buff my whole team. I would use the what's it called, the shield on everyone with Marshally's TMR, and then I would, whenever I see like a double gunner, I would just move up with 9S and put the missile resist on him. So now they have a couple of options. They can either like dispel barrier, or they could dispel spread, or they can break his barrier. But neither of them do enough damage because he already has like high missile resistance anyways, and then he has like he's pretty tanky. He has like 7k HP. And so they would do one attack, or they would move back, and from wherever they are, he can still use his like spear throw, his linear thing, and take away like half of Neblu's HP with the first attack, and that's through the shield. And then at that point, I think they tried. Like I can see them moving, and like how much damage they do. Never mind. Okay, quit. So I was like,
I love like when a unit moves up, it's such a nice feeling that they're checking sharpshoot, they're checking barrage, whatever else, and then they back up and buff. You're like, I got this. They were not happy with the numbers they saw. It's every class match. There's a couple games like that, and it's so nice.
So my question is, sorry, were you using Frederika's Dream?
Yes.
So like, yeah. So I feel like because of that increased missile resistance from the party effect, it does make mirror matches easier.
Yeah.
Which was kind of an unchecked like question for me that has just been checked. Like, cool.
Great for the mirrors, yeah. I mean, I noticed that with for the class match where it was on like the Beast End map with like the two like stairways that went up and the big square in the middle. We had the party abilities by then, right? Because like Una was out, so that makes update came out.
Yep.
I remember that class match. I noticed when I was using my double click and gunners that if I was ever against another double click and gunner team, I took not significantly less, because a lot of times they had it too, but if they didn't have that, or it was only like a 1 or 2 gunner team that still had like the other stuff like Titan and Ifrit or something instead, and they forewent the thing to support their third unit, very big damage difference. So that 20% comes in clutch for sure.
I also saw a lot of like all water teams, or like 2 water teams, and it was like very easy, obviously being all lightning. I was surprised there was like that many, but I don't know how many people were actually playing like lightning. I mean, from the people that I talked to, a lot of people were, but overall, I'm not sure.
I definitely saw a lot of lightning, whether it be 9S or Nivlu, or I mean, I actually didn't see too much Silma. I think I had to deal with maybe 1 or 2 of her, but overall, yeah, some, but not as much as I would have expected, especially like you said, given with how many people we've heard talk about using those units.
I had to go look up the Beast End map. It was CM6, and like true to form, like I was using like my light team, and double quick and gunners were like the bane of my existence in CM6.
Yeah. Yeah, they're one crazy team. And actually bouncing off of that, do we have anything else we want to talk about for CM8? Any more units or any sort of nuggets of wisdom about it, or we pretty much touched on everything by now?
I think that's it.
I had like one more thought. I can't think of what it is now. Maybe it'll come back to me.
All right, well, we'll use that as a springboard into the releases for this week, which include Frederika EX and the release of Coral. Listen, I can never pronounce this creature's name. The cat, the kitty cat, Thundercat. There we go. All right, so Thundercat came out, and it's supposed to be very good for Frederika and range units in general. Obviously, it has the missile attack. It's got the lightning attack. Great for them. I don't know about for other lightning units necessarily. I mean, it has what? So accuracy. So if you didn't do the missile attack, you get attack, lightning attack, accuracy, water killer's niche, aquatic killer's niche. Pierce resistance is pretty good. Water resist. Meh. So it's definitely best on the gunners. Are there other units you guys would use this on? Or also, did you guys pull for it? 9S, yeah.
Because he has like so many different lightning attack types, including hacking, which is like a non-type. So lightning attack would definitely help that.
Oh, 16 agility is not too bad either. It's one of the higher ones. That's nice. Some blind resist. Did you guys pull for the MR, Esper, or are you waiting for now?
I did, and I got it on the first one, so I was happy.
Nice. I'm still waiting on Phoenix. I'm still waiting on these fire vision cards, which is hard. It's so hard, you guys. I'm waiting for like whatever the next fucking like pile of medals we get, like summer medals or something. I need something to spend those on.
Oh,
Because otherwise they're just gonna be sitting there, and I'm just gonna be having it would be a waste of metals. So yeah, but as much as I hate sitting on these fire things, um,
oh, you just killed me. You
I'm
just killed me
waiting.
inside.
Why?
Oh, so everyone gets to laugh at my
Oh no,
idiocy, my
200.
absolute dumbassery. I'm
You
the
get it
one
around
in my
next time.
guild who like puts out announcements and helps people like, guys, don't forget these shops are going away. Don't forget that this is expiring, or check your missions. I'm always doing like the multi missions for the various like brutals and stuff the last day, and like catching everybody up, whatever. I forgot the spring medals were going away, and I lost, I think, 268 of them, if I remember correctly.
Feels bad. Rip. Big rips. Big Fs in chat.
I could have maxed basically most of the vision cards I don't have maxed. I could have done so many things, and I just let it go.
That sucks.
And I legitimately, like, I realized it when I was at work. I had to go to the bathroom and like sit down. Like, I was devastated because like it's just a game, but like
The little things.
That's a fair
Yeah,
amount of money too.
that's-
Like
yeah.
that's some investment that went into that. I specifically
like-
pulled on a couple of the banners just to get the spring medals, even though I didn't care about the like shards or something. And oh man, it was
If it helps,
not fun.
if it helps.
Others
4
having
to
shitty
6.
things don't help.
No, it's 4 to 6K paid. Because like those banners, like the paid
$100,
2K.
yes, it was.
The paid 2K ones for like 100 medals and like whatever shards, whatever. Those were 100 medals each. So like 200, like 2 of those, 4K paid.
2.5 of those.
Yeah. So, but
5K
yeah,
paid, which
I'm
is
not
$80.
saying.
Yeah.
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 Perspective.
I mean,
I don't know.
it's my fault. Like, I'm not mad at the game or anything. They gave us weeks and weeks of having these things.
Yeah.
It was just my fault for not checking. It's just,
Maybe that's why, honestly.
oh, it was
They let us sit on it.
so bad. Man, I'm just glad I didn't forget my raid medals.
So
those are expiring this week.
Yeah. If I may, I don't know if I'm like any kind of authority on pronunciation. It's just I try to pay attention to it. I'm just gonna say curl. I mean, I guess
Curl.
there's like in French, there's some words like cur, like hearts or whatever, that has that kind of strange spelling where it's like OEU, and so I guess like the Final Fantasy curls are heavily inspired by like this science fiction writer. Who was like Canadian and that lived near Quebec or whatever. So people are saying on Reddit that like curl is probably a likely pronunciation.
We say, but coral.
But coral.
That kills people. No, anyway. So yeah, so Locke, you pulled for it. Daniel and I I tried one. I did like one pull. I had the free viz. I'm like, I'll just throw it here and see what happens, but did not stick. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. So you said 9S as well. Makes complete sense because of the damage types, especially on the hacking. That's a good argument for that. How do we feel about the vision card? So it's kind of like a more specialized Cactor, which is cool, like the 12% agility. And also, I don't think this is going to necessarily open up a new opportunity for Keenblade teams, because I can't think of a lightning unit that would wear this that would have the highest agility. So that's kind of cool that we get that bonus. Giving lightning attack to the party, some dex. Dex helps a lot of classes. The acquired AP is a sweet bonus. Some flat dex. Kind of low attack and magic. HP's meh. I guess it'd be good for overall cost restricted class matches potentially, but
I'd say it's a little bit better than the fire one, like seductress like Lamia or whatever, where it gives you like fire attack and like other random shit. I think the agility up, like having another like Cactuar like in the party or whatever, it's nice. I mean, it definitely helps boost Frederika as like one of the top agility units, you know, especially with her Shadowrunner passive. But I don't think it's like game breakingly like cheese blade, like a high priority kind of thing. It's just nice, you know, and so that in my opinion it's not broken.
Yeah, I have a similar kind of argument as well. I mean, initially I'm like, oh, this is great. You get an extra 20 lightning attack. Like you can stack it with Frederica's Dream to give everybody plus 55 lightning missile attack, if you will. lightning missile attack team. But then I was like, or I could just use like celebrating crossed paths, which gives you plus 15 elemental attack to everybody. Okay, it's a worse unit effect on the crossed paths, but it's similar damage output. And if I'm
Or
doing
Ifrit, or Titan,
exactly
or other UR cards.
right, exactly, and so it's always like there's something better, which just gives a better overall effect. So I'm like, yeah, like if I didn't have MR medals to max it, which I have more than enough of, so when she's on the shop, I can just max it and probably maybe use it in like total cost restricted battles or something. But if I didn't have that, I probably wouldn't max it. Like I would just wait to get sharp pulls, more shards of it from random pulls or something.
Mhm.
I didn't spend any Wizard buying the shards.
Yeah, I think it's a cool card to have, especially if you're doing like say tower, right? And you have your lightning missile team or lightning team in general. This is like card number 4 or card number 5 for those sort of teams, I think. So you already have your like what missile attack up, your man eater if it's relevant, but say it's not. You get your attack, your agility, and it's like, all right, where do you go from here? Well, lightning attack's cool. Get some decks and then find your 5th card. Probably the elemental one for more elemental bonuses, but
So once I think it'll definitely be replaced by like Guard Scorpion or whatever once that comes out, because that's basically an Ifrit for lightning units plus slash res. It's an Ifrit plus Solidus plus like a nice little crit boost.
whoa, yeah, it is. Oh geez, yeah, I just looked at that card real quick in JP. Jeez,
Right. So like
pretty sweet.
maybe we'll see it, but I think it's one of those things, kind of just like the Lamia Fire VC, like Locke said, it's just gonna be like it's an option for like a limited cost kind of setup.
And then, like I said, along the same vein, EX Frederika. So I know this has been hotly, or not, I guess hot topic is what I was going with, but highly anticipated amongst the PvP community because a lot of the earlier units, if they have fallen off, it's mainly because they don't have defense penetration or the relevant attack penetration or barrier breaking or all these tools that newer units have. She gets like all of them, right? She gets missile resistance penetration on her concentration upgrade, which that's insane that they put it on that passive. Like
Right.
I would have
No-brainer.
expected that on like the missile mastery or something with like to force you to do that instead of having max range. Nope. She gets a upgrade to vital shot now, where it breaks barriers. The damage is the same. I guess that's the only upgrade, right? Is the physical barrier break. Everything else appears the same. Range, uses, AP, yeah. And then her EX25 skill is defense pen, and it's a buff. It's not just like a defense pen on this attack. It's I'm gonna hit you, and I also have defense pen for the rest of 3 turns, and it's got vital shot slash what's it called, barrage damage, so the 165 mod, so it's pretty sizable. Looks pretty great to me. Have you guys, I'm assuming, I have a feeling both of you EX 120 her already.
Yep.
Oh, Daniel, you haven't?
I have not. It's tempting, but I've been spending too many Blossoms of Paradise, so I'm kind of waiting for Black Rose Helena, I think, because I think I might invest in her. Like, it's really tempting. It's super tempting to X Murmur, to X Frederika.
Dude, it's
but
hard. It's hard.
I don't know. Maybe it's like a remnant of like my first my half year career of this game, where like Frederika was the main antagonist of my career. It's just like, God damn it, Frederika, or Ramza.
In his stupid face.
Yeah, stupid face. But like, yeah, I guess I wasn't in a rush. I mean, I've been ready to build her. She's one of the first units that I had 400 Mind Spheres of, because she was like available in the Monk shop. Like, her shards were available even before the Mind Sphere shop became a thing, or the toggle or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not in a rush to build her. I don't know if I'm in a rush to really use range teams. So maybe like if I need to practice more with lay arts, and maybe I'll consider it like coming up into this next class match. But for now, she's still sitting at a pretty little 99.
I spent my last 6 Blossoms on her, so yeah, she's been great. I did like some damage calculations. her damage against like King Mont. And I made some videos of it too. But basically, like she can easily take away half of his HP. Whereas HP was just shy of 8,000. So I mean, I know, you know, I've seen King Monts with like 10,000 HP, but they're usually using his card, and I don't have that. So I just tried to go for a generic King Mont. I wasn't trying to go for like a max defense or max HP. And she does about 4,000 damage. If I do a chain with like Nivlu and her, it is possible to leave him with like less than 500 HP.
Two-shot him or something.
Yeah, and if I do a chain with like Niblu plus 9S plus her, like easily one shots, or not one shots, but one rounds. And this is with his buffs. So, oh, and also I did like I would buff first. So Niblu's dispel spread, she does the damage first before she removes those buffs, right? So even with that, it was still I was still able to one shot or one round him. So she does like insane damage. She also does so much damage against a 90% missile resist Victora. So that was fun.
Jeez.
That's really what it comes down to. When it comes
Yeah.
down to the wire, is how
Yeah.
she does against these heavily stacked missile resistance teams. So I think that's what's going to make her even more scary than she has been, you know.
Mhm.
And I guess I will kind of add to what I was saying before. Like it's not just Frederika or Murmur. Like Luell is still sitting at like 107. Silma, I haven't like she's still leveling. She's like 94 out of 99 or whatever. I don't know. I just I have like I think a dozen like 120s at this point, and I'm trying to dial that back. You know.
I mean, every unit has an argument, as we always say. Like,
Right. It's so hard not
they
to.
all have these uses. We can see the potential for success and whatever. Like, it's so difficult to pick and choose which ones. I mean, even with the Espers, to an extent, I don't have all the ones that can be maxed because I'm not spending the Visior every time I see the 10 Source Stones in the shop or like
Yeah.
any of that. So it's really tough to do everything.
I mean, just think.
Unless you want to swipe $80 for a unit every time.
Yeah, like a dozen 120s is like 72 blossoms, you guys. I just need to stop and think and manage my expectations. I know it's been a while since I said that.
I definitely caved, and I had to go to the extreme measures to get Luell and Soma finished within like that short amount of time. But I could have waited for like the event on Wednesday or something and done them just the last day. But even then, I mean, I would have had to level them to 120 and do that whole process. And it takes a while to level these units now. Like,
Yeah,
it's a good day of energy if you're doing like story missions or something. Even with the like EXP up. So definitely been blowing through skip tickets doing that kind of things. But also because we can level units so fast now, the amount of times recently I've had a level 99 unit with EEE proficiencies is just absurd.
Yep.
It's been really silly because I'm like, I want to race to get the EX. Like, I feel like if they're level capped, I'm losing so much progress. So I guess as soon as they hit 99, I'm like, all right, what do I need to do? All right, jobs up, whatever, do this. Unlock. Okay, now they can get to 102. Okay, now I can put it back in my leveling team. And it's like they're at like CCC and they're 102. I'm like, oh shit, now I gotta find more blossoms, get them to 107. Just like so much management. But I mean, it's kind of the fun part for me though, and it's again whale problems, but it's like it's almost fun to have things to look forward to again that aren't just like randomly maxed for all these shards and things. So
for sure.
like even though I love to do Murmur right now, like EX her, I'd love to shut up. I'd love to EX Frederika or like any of these new units. I just can't, and I have to look forward to
summer medals. Wait for the summer medals.
Well, summer medals don't help me with my blossoms. I have plenty of fucking shards. Like, if you listen, if people can't max SR, R, or MR units these days with, well, maybe not MR so much, but SR and R units with their Mog medals, like, what have you been spending your Mog medals on? Like, they've built up so much over time, and I actually thought, like, even on a previous cast, I thought we couldn't get like Mish or something from the shop, but it turns out you can get all of them. So. I'm fine on Mish, by the way, if anyone was worried. But I'm actually have to stop EXing units for a little while because
nobody was worried.
No, everyone's worried. The Mish content will come. No, but like I'm actually gonna have to save for him now that I think about it. Like if I'm not being able to get, I can't buy all these packs and things. Like I'm gonna have to actually slow down, let all these units go by to get Mish EX'd. but I'm also super
It'll
pumped
be
for
worth
new.
it. Like triple
Will be.
quicken frog or some shit. Toad, sorry.
Yeah, instant toad into instant flare into instant flare. Yeah. I guess going along with actually, sorry, I don't want to like, Frederika deserves it. Do we have any other comments on Frederika? Locke, you said you've been using her a bit, doing damage tests. Any like live PvP experience with her yet?
No, not yet. I was debating on using her on the last day because I had her up to like level 112, I think, but like job level 25. But I decided just to, like, if I faced another team with the set, like I was thinking of her and her and Nevlu and Selma or something. But Ninus was just so good against other range teams, and if I saw another Frederika, like he would just be so good against them. Like it's causing them to like rage quit. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
so I
missile
decided
resist is
to.
so good.
I just
that's a.
decided to keep the team.
I'm not surprised, honestly. That's something that I think maybe that's what I was thinking in terms of like the remnants, like any comments left about this class match is because of how effective 9S was in your range team and in range teams in general. Like he's kind of half of what's making them tankier, at least in mirror matches or whatever, is because of just like he doesn't even have to heal to help you win matches. He just mitigates damage, just and a really interesting lightning bruiser that I think is gonna kind of carry us forward into the months ahead in terms of the meta.
Yeah, and you pair
Yeah.
it with Soma who can heal. Like it's just a really sick combination for Mono Lightning.
Yes, and I got to use him. So before this, I had Niblu as my main damage dealer, but on the first day of pulling the Esper, I got the Esper's resonance up to 10 with Niblu. So I decided to change my team around. I put the Cat Esper on Niblu, and then I put Odin on 9S. Yes, I can't pronounce that name. I'm gonna keep calling it the Thundercat or the Cat.
Thundercat, yeah.
Oh,
So because I'm
beautiful.
changing Odin over to 9S, I decided, okay, I'll make him the accurate person on my team. And with his assault field buff, I had a 100% chance to hit a max evade 2B. But
That's
to be fair,
amazing.
she did not use illusion because she didn't have time to. But like the max hit he would have is like the least hit he would have is like 75, but it's probably more than that. But yeah, it's insane. Like
It's
he
enough to
can do
roll
so
on.
much things. Yeah.
And as long as Nivlu can dispel the illusion,
Mhm.
that's really where it's at.
Speaking of thunder, let's talk about the roaring thunderclap Ramu. That
Ayo.
Esper got upgraded this week, up to 15 agility, so maybe it's a little more acceptable now. Disable resist is pretty nice, so 25% disabled. That's no joke.
Very, very nice.
Makes me take him a little more seriously. He kind of just got so overshadowed by Diablos. Like when Diablos came out, I was struggling trying to figure out like how am I going to do these triple magic teams? Like what espers am I going to use? Like I can put Odin on if I really want to, but like Shiva, Ramu feels kind of bad, Odin, and whatever. But then like Diablos came out, I'm like, all right, cool, we got like our setup. And then Typhon came out for Halloween Leela, and she was on a lot of those magic teams, blah blah. Ramu got left in the dust. He's at like level 68 or 70. I refused to put Magicite into him, but I know Locke, you said you really like this upgrade, and I'm looking at it now, and there are some interesting things. You want to talk about him for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I really like that he also got the same accuracy nodes as Odin, so it's plus 22 accuracy. And then he has lightning attack, which so he can also work on Selma, right? Like you can put it on a on like any lightning unit really. You can also use it on what's her name, that double cost MR. I forget.
Alim,
Still here?
Salir.
Celir, yeah.
Both of them
So
are double cost.
double cost MR, yeah. Yeah, I think he's pretty good. And again, like the agility was also a big factor for me as well. It's 15 agility is pretty nice. It's not bad
It's not bad.
anymore. But really it's the disabled resist that really sells it for me, because I've been trying to, like, unless you're like a Niblu or Frederika who I'm planning to not get hit, I want everyone else on my team to have these status effects resistances, because I really hate them. Like I decided I can't play them, but I also
Who
don't
can
want to
blame you,
be
though?
I also can't have other people doing these things on me, because then it really cost me matches like so many times. So I've always, like, the previous one, I was really glad to put Ifrit on 9S because that gives him stop resistance. And then I think he already has stop. I don't know. He has disable resist, I think. Anyway, so I've been using things like that. Like, so I've been using Ifrit for the stop. I've been using Defense Bracer for the disable. So I like Ramu that he has disable resist. I might actually use it over like Bahamut or something just for that disable resist.
Oh, that's a statement right there.
Yeah, because I mean, like,
If you're
more
facing
damage is
water
great,
units,
but I really want that disable because if I have Yuna and she gets disabled, like what's she gonna do? She can't do any damage then for 3 turns, right? That's like
Auto
game
attack.
breaking.
No, she
So
can't even do that.
yeah, so
yeah, I think Ramu's gonna shine the most against water units. So especially maybe when we see what's her face, the water caster.
You called her more last week?
More, yeah. Like she's supposed to be a really great like anti-magic mage, you know. Um, I think I don't know. I just Ramu I think can shine the most when you stack water killer and lightning attack. You can't obviously take advantage of aquatic killer. That's obviously PVE. But
For now.
yeah, obviously I wouldn't spec him like magic attack. I think that's a waste of like skill points. You know, even if you take strike resistance instead. We're seeing more and more strike or strike attacks nowadays. So I think accuracy, water killer, lightning attack, and Ramu is going to be golden. No pun intended.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, all of the above. Definitely agree. Any other thoughts on him? Nope. All right. So other things. Let's see. So Flodai and Iron Giant were also awakened this week. Are there anything to note on them really? I know Flodai got Berserk resist, which is
accuracy.
cool, but it's only 15%.
I mean, Iron Giant gets the
some
light
accuracy,
attack.
yeah. Oh, was it light attack? Okay, that's kind of cool then. So he's kind of like the Behemoth counterpart again.
Yeah, he gets
as his
25 light
spell.
attack.
Still has the Dark Killer and slash attack and stuff. So
It's
yeah, I guess that's all right. But the agility is just so goddamn low. It's
yeah,
10
Yeah.
still.
it's like it's I don't know, it's a decent MR
Charm
like
resist.
light team Esper, you know, for like a limited team kind of thing in terms of cost. But I mean, the charm resist obviously is crazy.
Yeah, I like the charm
Yeah.
resist, but it's just very slow. So have
Very,
to.
very
I
slow.
mean, if you can toss him on like a fast unit, like I don't know, like Rob. I don't know.
I mean, even Flodai has 15 agility now, which is pretty nice. Got Wind Killer, so not like an ice attack like we would think of from like a Fenrir or something, but the Wind Killer sort of maybe it's worse, but doing similar. Not really. I can't make an argument for it. I got some accuracy nodes though, so 15 accuracy there. That's nice to have. In addition to a little bit of missile attack, but it's not a. Oh, it is an attacking Esper. Why was I thinking Flodai was a magic Esper? Huh. Okay.
Nope,
I guess
it's not.
no, it's 70, 76 attack and 31 magic. Yeah, I definitely thought it was more of a magic
It's
Esper
because he
before.
has magic up nodes.
Oh yeah, his magic percent nodes. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So it's just such a weird Esper. Like
Yeah.
weird combination of things. It's not great. I don't know if you guys have more comments on that, but I'd love to move on to Murmur. Start continuing on those. So Murmur is a bit definitely holds a place in my heart. I remember maxing her very early back in my buying rainbow fragments when I was whaling days and maxing my SRs and things that I thought were fun. And just like messing up SIDS. Like Orlando was not a fan of getting jamming thrusted in the mouth by Murmur. She would just stuff him for like 4K. It was absurd. So good. But unfortunately, as the game advanced, people got better gear and caught up. She's just very slow. I don't think she really got. She got what 4 flat agility from her EX board, which is not amazing. But her upgrades, her Stone Era got decreased attack and magic by 39 and agility by 25, which is a giant upgrade. I mean, 3 debuffs on 1 spell, and they're also it's like her quote unquote spam spell. It's like her low AP, tons of use. I guess Jamming Thrust has 6 uses for whatever reason, but Stone Era being the next in line. And then her resistance break becomes Defense Destroyer. And it decreases defense by 30 in addition to the Spirit 38. So that's pretty cool. It makes her a little more versatile in what team she can sort of support. But It's a range 2 physical attack on a magic unit that's playing a support role. So it's kind of not where I'd want to be with her, I don't think. But her EX ability, the Stonega, again, another one I'm not so sure, but 185 mod in a decent range. It's a 4+1 AoE with a decent range height, AoE height, all that, with a Earth Imperil of 38%. So that's pretty good. And the only thing being it does have a casting time of 200, like Flare, Holy, and those other slower spells. So you really have to find a good time to do that. But overall, I like the changes, but I don't think it's anything too drastic. Like, it's a nice power boost for an SR unit, but I'm not sure it makes her like
It's
live
not a,
PvP ready.
It's not a lay art change. It's just nice.
Let's be honest, though. Nice. Even some UR upgrades aren't a lay art change.
I wasn't gonna go that far, but yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, the Imperil is nice. I mean, you cannot go wrong with these buffs. It's literally just her stats that are holding her back at this point.
She's very good against Luell, though. Strike and magic resist 55%. So let's happens to line both of those up. But yeah, not amazing. Any thoughts on her lock?
I mean, I used her for a little bit. The main problem I had with her was that her accuracy was not great. It was actually very, very terrible, and also the agility as well.
Great, it's actually very terrible. 100% agreed.
So and these upgrades didn't really do anything for that. So I feel like it's going to be very difficult to use here, just for that. Like, I mean, the skill is like both the Stone Era and the Stone Egg skills are pretty good. I think the enhancements, but if you can't land anything and if it takes forever to get your turn, it's hard to use. So I don't think I'd be like, she'll be very, very low priority for me to EX.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but I do agree. Moving on to maybe one that's a little more exciting, which is Ayaka. So she got her upgrade. Her first bit I see here is their support passive, the March of the Saints. No longer just nullifies Doom, but also increases healing power by 20, which is kind of a will help her compete, I think, a little bit with Yuna, because Yuna just having the passive healing power up, that's why she gets those crazy high healing. I'm not gonna call them crits, because I don't think they can crit, but really high just healing procs. In terms of passives, though, the rest is the same. Her other upgrade is Puragra. It's now, was it Panacea? So it becomes, what does it do? Oh, it restores AP by 10, which is a nice bonus, I guess. I'm not gonna call it game breaking. If it was like 10% or like something like way higher like that, it'd be insane. But now it's just kind of like a nice extra. Maybe this will be one of those things where we see somebody figure out some combination of units where it's like that's the threshold that like breaks a turn, like a cool opener or something. But I mean, then you have things like Rosa or Christmas Mastery TMR or Luell or like these other units that have more instant ways to get AP. So I'm not so sure that's going to necessarily be the case. So it's probably just going to be a nice little bonus for when you are curing your team. But then her EX25 Divine Melody increases defense penetration by 30 for ally. It looks like it's on a single target, but also absorb 20% of the damage done. So it basically gives them lifesteal, which is really cool. And I think that's probably the most exciting part of her upgrade, in my opinion. The cast time is 320, so it's not going to take too long, especially because she just has speed cast. It'll be like, what, three clock ticks. Yeah, so anyone get her up? I obviously have made it clear I haven't.
Not yet.
No, I don't think her upgrades are that great. I mean, like, the Divine Melody is very good in my opinion. Like, it's pretty unique, really, to have like that vampire effect that you can cast on anyone, and also that like defense penetration that you can cast on anyone either. Because usually it's like through gear or a card or something you have to get it. So it's nice, but I don't think that like if I was looking for a healer, I don't think this is enough for me to put her over Yuna or something,
Right.
So I don't really see Ayaka being like, she's good, but
if you missed Yuna,
yeah,
I think that she's like a second to Yuna now, maybe.
I think
the calculators are nice because they're instant, but this extra utility on her, I think, puts her up there as a contender again.
It's another 120 unit, like eventually.
Right.
I'm actually really curious if Divine Melody is affected by Emerald Echo. It seems like it would be, but I think I'm more curious about the absorb than the defense pen up.
Yeah, the absorb I could see not being, but we'd have to check. The defense band
So
definitely is, I would say. But yeah, the absorb I'm not so sure. I would actually lean yes because it's
I
a
think
new
that's kind of
stat
where I
because
was
of
going.
2B. So 2B has a
Well,
passive that gives it as a buff.
it doesn't say grants. It just says increase and absorb, you know? So like I have to
Right.
wonder. I'm guessing it's going to be two separate buffs, you know, instead of just like all in one line or whatever.
Oh, for
But
sure. It's like, I mean,
if
even
it's not saying
SIDS.
grants, so
I mean, even like all the units who say like, grants immunity to this status effect, this attack, they're all their own individual effects. It's not like they're
yeah,
one or
yeah,
the other, or in one line. Sorry. Um, yeah, I'm gonna actually while we're talking here, I'm gonna open the game and look at my 2B with the passive on and just see what the symbol looks like because it should be the same sort of
right,
effect. But in the
yeah.
meantime, while I'm getting that loaded, uh, any other thoughts on Ayaka or? Be good to move on there. I'm just gonna move on and you guys snap me back if you have anything to say. But the last major release this week, besides the tower-related Blaze Ring, is the Dreams of Heroism
The
VC.
jealousy card.
Yeah, basically. So here's my my obligatory rant. The Earth card has a bestowed effect for at least Mont actually uses all of it this time, but King Mont doesn't. And then also Mach Cherie just because she's on the card, I guess. And I think Camillo, if and when we get him, will probably get the bonus as well. I would have to imagine on this card. 6 defense, pretty sweet. For a flat effect, that's probably the highest on a VC for like an actual stat line. That's not like a bestowed ability or something. If do you have either of you have the card up on World of Vision Scout?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, if one of you
Sure.
block if you want to run down the abilities.
Sure. So it's 230 HP, 122 attack, 6 defense, 124 magic. The HP isn't. I think it's kind of low compared to other cards. Attack and magic is
It's a nice hybrid
yeah,
total.
it's hybrid. Yeah, it's a good hybrid total, but it's like even like the Ram's IVC has a higher attack, so it's good for like hybrid units, I guess, but not really good or bad for just attack or magic, which is usually what you want, right? So stats aren't that great. Defense is nice though. +6 defense is pretty good. Then the unit effect. So this is the bestowed effect. It gives you 10% slash resist and 5% HP. Now, if you're Mont, King Mont, or Marcherie, you also get +10 magic resistance and 5 agility. So the agility is really nice, I think. So basically, you're giving whatever unit that you equip this +6 defense and +5 agility, which is already pretty good for a card. And then plus all these other things I just talked about, slash resist and HP and magic resist. So it makes whatever Earth unit, especially Mont, you equip this on quite tanky. So that's nice. And then the party effects are limited only to Earth cards. So you get 20 AoE
Earth
resistance.
units.
Yeah, Earth units. Not,
Yeah.
did I say Earth cards? Sorry.
Yeah, you cards, Earth cards. Yeah.
Earth units, only limited to Earth units. So you get 20 AoE resistance and 13 HP and 25% TP at max if you max a card.
It's kind of flavorful that this makes OG Mont a little closer to King Mont in terms of getting the AoE resist. Like it's just a nice. I don't know if that was intended or not, but sort of goes along the thematic line. And also, real quick before we continue, HP absorb on 2B with her passive is a status, not it's a status condition, not a buff. It doesn't have an arrow or anything. So I have to imagine it's gonna be the same way with Ayaka's when she grants. And on the same unit, we can go defense piercing rate is definitely a buff worth the green up arrow.
Nice.
So that will be another one
Is
where if
that
she has
worth
Emerald
it?
Echo on, the Emerald Echo will extend the defense piercing, but it will not extend the HP absorb. So
As far as we can tell, yeah. Also,
yeah,
I'm
assuming it's
curious
the same
about
effects as the other ones.
kind of attaching on to the final thought about Ayaka. I'm curious about if we're going to see her on Green Mage once we see like the Tifa 2B whatever wins teams, because of that huge bar Aeroga, as well as having it, the heals. Anyways.
Oh man, OG Helena. Oh, sorry. Anyway, yeah, Locke, if you had any
I
thoughts on the
think
card.
this card is probably the best card for Mont as a single unit because it gives him so much stats, and then like he kind of lacks in agility, so that increases the agility by 5. And also, usually agility increases like plus 12% or something in the bestowed. This is like a flat 5 agility, so that's nice, especially
It's like
for somebody
Omega.
like low agility. Yeah, so that's good. And then, does Omega have that too? I didn't realize.
Omega has flat agility on the stats on the vision card, you know,
Oh,
and
okay.
that's what makes it bumps OG Stern up in terms of, you know, the cheese plate combo and stuff, which I don't want to talk about. Spread that more around.
So TP, I don't know if there's any other card that increases TP. Do you guys know of anything? Because I can't remember of any.
I
off
want
the
to
top of
say
my
there
head.
is, but it's not a card that you would typically use, so we just haven't really noticed it. But if I go to like party effect elements, I think, was it like a lightning card or something? I swear there was one that did it. I guess not knowing isn't helpful, but anyway, if you want to keep talking, I'll just scan through all the cards.
Sure. So I mean, I think that's nice, but like, who would benefit from this? Because it's only limited to Earth, and I haven't really thought
So,
much about this
who
card.
wants this?
It's not even like Camillo or Camillo or whatever. Like he's gonna be a light unit, right? Like he's not gonna use this. I mean, Mashri, I mean, like she'll use it for the hybrid attack and magic at best, right? Besides like the flat agility and defense and magic resistance, and like, yeah, this is OG Mont, like he's the villain of the card, and yeah, it's best suited for him. It's crazy.
That works, right?
But yeah, for people who don't have like, you know, the winter holiday party, who don't have like death machine or whatever, like you're using an earth party, you know, the AoE res is always worth it, right?
But would you be running an all Earth party though? I don't know, like, because it doesn't have
Maybe
so many
one
good
day.
units. Maybe one day at some point.
When
By
Winter
then you
Venera gets her
probably.
EX, I guarantee
Yeah,
you'll
and
see
like OG
all
Mons,
Earth teams.
Luel, yeah, Venera.
I mean, even now I want to use like Halloween Ryu plus Luel plus either Catone or Winter Venera or something. I actually made a funny team, Winter Venera with the Bomb Esper, and I just like went as high as I could on her HP. I got her up to like almost 8k without her EX, and that would be fun. And with her EX, she gets like almost a 10k HP. It's kind of nuts, and you get to use like Golem, which actually has an Eartha party ability, which is cool. But
Yeah, it's just too many wind units.
yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Too many 2Bs.
I
only
have
Earth
not
unit
found a TP party ability yet, by the way.
The only Earth unit I ran into CM was Mont. I didn't run into any. Did you guys run
Yeah,
into anyone else?
OG Mont is all I ran into, and he was too slow. I was taking 2
He was
turns.
the only one. Yeah, I think he was the only one I saw as well, Earth-wise. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't see a TP party ability yet. I'm on the light and dark.
It's so unexpectedly niche too. I mean, like, you would expect it from maybe like an element that's more in line with a lot of casters, you know, like light or something. But to see it on,
Wind.
yeah, or like this, but to see it on like an Earth team, an Earth Vision card, it's like, what are you going to help out Killfay, or are you going to help out like the Earth attackers getting like, I don't know, 25% more of whatever, you know, kind of lower TP pool than you might see on like a support. Like, okay, I guess. Like,
so unless I
cool.
missed something while I was going through, it's the only elemental party ability gives TP %. So
Thanks for checking that out.
yeah, I'm sorry if anybody listening to this heard the clicking. I didn't see the peaks coming up, but there may be center mouse button clicks opening all new tabs or whatever, and I'm just clicking through going close, 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 close.
And yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm bashing it. It's just like, it's weird. You know, it's one of those decisions.
Weird blind spot.
It's like,
yeah, it's a stat we don't always think of too.
Head scratcher.
I think a lot of people take it for granted, like, oh, I have the TP to use this, but if you've used like Titus on manual, you run out of TP. Like, or yeah, even in guild battles, he runs out pretty quick.
Yeah, I think if they insert the TP, if they give something else, I think it would have been really nice for like Catone. Like if they gave it, I don't know, like missile resist or pierce resist or something as a party ability, I think it would have been really, really sweet for like Catone and like Earth teams. But I don't know if I would like. I mean, I only like if I'm bringing a party of 3, I only can bring 3 cards, and even if I'm running a full Earth team, I don't know how often I would bring this particular card. So
I'm looking at the stats of both Monts. The positive, negative, positive, negative, negative, positive, negative. All right, so they actually don't share any negative resists, I don't think. I was wondering if there'd be like a thematic like resist they could have chosen for the party ability that would like help both Monts or something, but OG Mont's negative in Pierce, Missile, and Magic, and then new Mont is positive in Pierce and Missile and Neutral and Magic, so no real correlation there. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they could have done... No, I don't know what else they could have done. Actually, Earth does have a lot of like decent passives, like various resistance stuff, so...
I have to wonder, like, will they add Camillo to this once he gets released? Like, maybe he's not in
I
there
think so.
because he's not released yet.
Right. I mean, that was like King Mont got added to like Mask of Deceit and other cards like that. So that
Right.
had like OG Mont. So I'm like, I'd be willing to say I'm 100% sure he'll get added to it, but obviously we can't, necessarily say that.
I think the big question would be if Black Rose Helena is going to get the plus 10% agility on the Black Rose Helena card, because that's going to be insane.
We'll see. You
Guarantee
think?
it. Oh yeah. 100%. I think that's gonna happen. And it's gonna be nuts.
Are we seeing her next week? I haven't checked the schedule recently.
Assuming we follow, yes. I think she's next.
She's already in this in the calc, so I'm assuming we should.
Oh, is she?
We should be getting her. Yeah, on the English side. So I'm assuming on the global side. So I'm assuming we should be getting her like very, very soon.
Have fun checking her out.
Wait, where is she? Is it Helena parentheses Black Rose? Oh, yep. Black Robed Witch. Okay, yeah. Oh, she's there.
I expect her to be Black Rose. I think the translation is just weird, but if she is Black Robed Witch and whatever, maybe it'd be nice if it aligned with Black Rose of the Battlefield.
Better say Black Rose of the Battlefield or some.
Or just Black Rose.
It's a mouthful, but yeah, Black Rose would be fine. I'll accept that just for the type line, right?
For TMR, it says Black Rose headdress. Like, come on,
dude. She's stop and charm resist. Whew.
Yep, very powerful.
Yeah, I don't know
and 10% berserk might help a little bit, but
it's a very almost guaranteed hit already.
I'm sure. So do you guys want to talk about her for a little bit, or should we talk about her more next week?
I think we should definitely touch on her next week once we have it confirmed. Obviously, I mean, I'm pretty confident, especially since she's on War of the Vicious Calc already. I assume most of the data is like ready to just like flip a switch and get put up.
Yeah.
I'm usually surprised when it's not immediately up. But the fact that she's on the units page already, so she's not on like the front page, but she's on the units page. I'm pretty confident, yeah. But no, we'll touch on her next week. Also on the tower. I guess you talk about the Blaze Ring real quick. So it's just like the other rings where it gives you like really high resist to whatever you're strong against, plus a little bit of the element itself. It decreases immobilize resist.
All the others have something like that too.
Yeah, poison and doom.
Resist.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what they were? Okay, I guess maybe I never noticed that. That's weird. But yeah, cool to have this. Are there any major units you guys can think of that like this would really help? Or I mean, I feel like these rings are kind of.
I've never used them.
They're very niche.
Yeah, exactly.
I used the light one on Yuna. Like the light and dark one's really nice because you get to resist your like only main weakness. Plus, like Yuna happens a lot, so like having that extra light resist is nice. So,
I mean,
this one I'm not so sure.
Kind of harking back to I never used the word harking. Back to like talking about like Glaciella with 65 fire resistance. I feel like this is definitely something like that. It's like maybe it seems niche right now, but like down the line when elemental resistance like and needing to overcome such a high elemental resistance, especially like obviously we've seen through Tower just how annoying that can be when you have to specifically like have a certain attack or a certain elemental like attack to be able to kill somebody effectively. It's just going to be a pain in the ass when this becomes more relevant.
Fair. Yeah, I was saying like maybe somebody like is there like an Omni tank, so to speak, in fire? I guess Rain, if you're trying to build them physical, you can get some defense here or something. But like you'd be using a Plat Robe or something. Like there's
Mercy's Grace on top of Blazing Physique or whatever on OG Rain.
Oh, true, he gets the ice resist. Yeah,
and the Blaze Ring, like it should be insane for ice units against ice units.
Wait, so this would be what, 20 on the ring? Then it'd be. Oh, I can't click on rain from here. Lame.
That would be pretty sweet, right? Just click on the image.
Yeah, so 20 plus his innate, he has 20, so that's 40, plus his skill grants what? I'm assuming 38. Oh no, it's 25. Okay, so that's 25, 65, plus
And
the
then,
Mercy's Grace is 15, so 80% ice resist. What's
like,
up?
what are you gonna do? Go
That's
match to remove
crazy.
my re-raise? Like, you know. So yeah, I definitely think it's gonna be
That's
a
pretty
big
cool.
deal.
I mean, is there any other source? Oh, there's got to be an Esper with it too, right? Ice resist? Doesn't Ifrit have it? Oh, he's Ice Killer. Water resist. Oh, wait. So he has water resist. So it would be a wind Esper that would have ice resist because they have like the whatever they're weak to. Is it Tetra?
I would expect it to be Ifrit.
It's wind resist. Well,
Oh, are you talking about like overcoming their weakness by
yeah,
having the
yeah.
nodes?
Yeah.
I was thinking like natural like ice resist,
Right,
you know?
right. That's how I would think they would spec them, but for some reason, like Ifrit has water resist. Ramu has
Yeah,
earth resist. Like they go in like the reverse cycle to like try to
yeah.
make up for their weakness a bit.
But
Is it
still,
Death Machine?
using Ifrit for that 10% natural on top, that would be 90% ice resist on.
Oh,
I mean,
sure, yeah.
you don't really want to use Ifrit on rain, right? But it'll still be notable on like a fire team, you know. Like
You can
imagine
use
like
Phoenix.
winter Mashri, you know, like stacking all this stuff.
Oh, is it
She doesn't
Phoenix with ice resist?
No, but Phoenix just has like 10 flat, like
Oh, okay. It just doesn't have their
full
the
options.
resist.
fire
Yeah.
espers, yeah.
Ifrit has 10. Huh. I swear
I
there's
don't
one with ice resist.
I don't
Oh,
think
here
you
we
really
go.
you
Marilith.
you don't really want to look at. Oh, okay, gotcha. I was gonna say you don't want to look at the wind espers because they're just overcoming their natural weakness.
Oh, fair, because you're getting the weakness from equipping the Esper, and then
Right.
right. That makes sense. Yeah. Marilith has 8%, so there's what 98 at that point.
Woo!
Let's go. Or no, she has. I'm sorry, it's not 98 because she has her innate 5, so
93.
it's
Yeah.
93. Yeah. Let's see. Can you like? You can't even sort by their abilities, can you? On here, that's all right.
I mean,
Site already does so much for us.
so dealing with that, it's basically using dispel or dispel spread or something, you know, like like removing buffs. Because otherwise, if I mean,
Still got 60.
yeah, but like just the base without the buff. But I mean, I can't think of any ice units right now that can really do like remove buffs. Really, I mean, Rosa, does she get? No, she doesn't get any kind of erase or
No.
dispel. Erase is just debuffs, anyways.
Oh, the wind chocobo gets a little bit of ice resist, also just like 8%.
Nice.
You can use the bar Blizzara skills for plus 25 ice resist instead of Mercy's
Yeah.
Grace 15. So you can
Oh,
hit
okay.
100% ice
Okay,
resist
cool.
if you want.
Because yeah, you said it's 38 on those, right?
From
No,
like Chell or something.
25. Yeah,
Oh, it's
from Charlotte,
25.
I'm looking at 25. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah, definitely like not to be underestimated, but very specific like uses for it, you know, just like any of the other elemental rings. I like how they called it like blaze ring instead of like flame ring or fire ring. Like blaze is definitely like, yeah, top choice.
Like you can picture a blaze, like it's more like aggressive and impactful. But yeah, fire, it's
Flames,
like, yeah, it
flame,
is.
the flames of Mordor just like washing across like the surface of the ring.
I can imagine, yeah, just looking at it. Rain's like, I will never take ice damage again. But all right, any other thoughts for this week? Releases? Any class rush things that popped up through these conversations, or are we good to go?
Damn it. I just had enough. Oh yeah. So I'm so glad I thought of this like under pressure at the last moment. I one of the things going back to like the like keeping tracks of like tips and nuances and stuff like that. One of my little like pet projects is testing um dragon blade and damage distribution, like the reaction skills. We need to do more testing with those because I don't think we're really familiar with how they work, in terms of like how much damage they do. Does it reflect their damage, or is it a percent of like their reaction skill, like is it based off their attack or, you know, their magic? If it, are they taking physical or magical attack, and that's like how much they're reflecting? Is it based off like their brave and their faith? This is like somebody was asking this recently, and I didn't really have time to address it because I didn't really have time to research it, you know. But that's definitely notable. So if anybody listening is familiar enough to speak on how Dragon's Blade and damage distribution works in terms of how much damage you can expect it to reflect, or not reflect, but like react with and absorb, let us know in the comments.
And for some reason, my brain just went to like developer mode when you were talking about the various nuances of that potentially. I wish that pierce units that have like the range 2 that can like pierce through auto attacks, that the second spot took more damage.
Yeah,
like how flavorful would that be? Like, is it's the tip of the spear or whatever? Like, I mean, I guess you're running the tip through both spaces.
I mean,
but
either way, like
still.
the front unit taking more damage more than the back unit, but more than just regular damage. I think that does sound pretty sweet.
But they do both take the same damage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm. I was like, wait, is that something that I missed?
Or I guess like if there's only one unit, but you hit him with the second space, like it'd be more damage or something. I don't know.
Because like there's an effect in that, like in the game, like chicken, toad, berserk, sleep, like these cause you to take 50% more damage. So like they could code it, where like the front or the back, or whatever.
There's a lot of things they could do, right?
Yeah, there is.
Locke, any last thoughts?
Not that I can think of. So
all right, fair enough. I think that wraps us up for this week. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. I've been Zach Bro.
I'm Dan Blue.
I've been Locke.
And we'll see you next time.